Boy Who Lost His Face by Louis Sachar, 34. You see that mask there? Said Tori, pointing at the face of the ordinary man with the wire-rimmed glasses. That's Herbert Bayfield. She made that for him on their 25th wedding anniversary. Wow, said Mo. He looks so real. She's actually a very famous artist, Tori bragged. She's got masks hanging in museums all over the world. One museum offered her a lot of money for Uncle Herbert's mask, but she won't part with it. It's famous for its smile that seems to appear and disappear depending on how you look at it. It's been compared to the smile on the Mona Lisa. Do you think she'll make a mask of me? Asked Mo. Tori shrugged. She looks for interesting faces, but I never know what makes a face interesting to her. Of course, she also makes masks of everyone in our family. She looked at her own mask, still on the floor. It's actually not finished yet, she said. That's why it's still in her studio. She picked it up and held it next to her own face. See, it doesn't have all the freckles. Did she count your freckles first? Asked David. Huh? Tori smiled. No, you can't count them, because some are so light it's hard to tell if they're even really freckles. That's why she's such a good artist. She can do all that. Mrs. Bayfield returned from the kitchen with cookies, a pitcher of lemonade, and some glasses. Would anyone like some face juice? She asked. She poured everyone a glass. What about you both saying I looked like a Greek poet? Asked David. What? Asked Felicia Bayfield. We went to the Foreign Film Festival last week, Tori explained. There was a movie about a Greek poet. You were dressed just like him. Was it a Greek movie? Asked Mo. No, it was French, said Tori, but it was about a Greek poet. Oh yeah, I think I saw it when I lived in France, said Larry. Is that somewhere near Indianapolis? Asked David. Larry ignored him. Okay, said Mo. How about this? Maybe you thought you were just making up some words, but maybe you happened to say the words right and really did put a curse on David without even knowing it. That means he's still cursed, said Larry, and you don't know how to remove it. How else do you explain all the things that happened to him? Asked Mo. Tell me more about this curse, said Tori's famous aunt. I don't know, said David. I've never believed in anything like that. But it was just so weird. Everything that those guys did to you happened to me. There were too many coincidences. He told her everything that happened, from breaking his parents' bedroom window to his pants falling down. He even told her about the flower falling on his head. Well, said Mrs. Bayfield, I have an idea, but I don't know if it's right. What? Asked Tori. If you are cursed, Mr. Ballinger, David, said Mrs. Bayfield, it is only because you are a sensitive and caring human being. Him? Asked Larry with a laugh. I imagine David felt very guilty about what he and the other boys did to me, didn't you, David? I thought you were just a lonely old lady, said David. I didn't know you were famous. Mrs. Bayfield smiled. You probably felt you should have been punished for what she did, you said. And when nobody punished you, you punished yourself. You mean I broke our window on purpose? You or your subconscious? And did I purposely tie my pants tight enough And I purposely didn't tie my pants tight enough because I wanted them to fall down? Afraid so. David shook his head. I'm really weird, aren't I? I mean, Roger and Randy and Scott didn't punish themselves. They are obviously not as sensitive as you are, Mrs. Bayfield smiled warmly at David. You're a caring, thoughtful, considerate human being. Maybe that is a curse in this cold world we live in. You have the soul of a poet. Tori beamed at him. David looked at all the faces on the wall. Little did he know that someday his face would be up there with them. And that's the end of chapter 34.